From Oysterham, France, we went to Portsmouth, England on the ferry. Going from Oysterham, France to Portsmouth, England is a 5-hour ferry ride. The waters were very calm today compared to yesterday's storms. The ferry is similar to a cruise ship. It has little shops and restaurants and everything else that you might want. The restaurant was set up as a cafeteria style with a large selection of food. The food or drinks are not included with a ticket, it's extra cost. They also had a good wine selection. I purchased a cabin so that we wouldn't have to sleep on the floor. Before you know it, we were approaching Portsmouth, England. We changed the itinerary so that we could stay here one day to meet up with a friend that we hadn't seen in 40 years. We sailed right by the Queen Elizabeth aircraft carrier. After a short taxi ride from the port, we arrived at the Queen's Hotel. The Queen's Hotel is a luxury hotel with 74 rooms, 2 bars, and 1 restaurant. From our window we could see the port. Here's where we met up with our friend we hadn't seen in 40 years. The next day it was raining, but we went out anyway. In this port area is where they have the old sailing ships and the Museum of the Mary Rose. The wreck of the Mary Rose was rediscovered in 1971 and it was raised in 1982. The surviving section of the ship and thousands of artifacts were recovered. Sometime in the late afternoon of July 19, 1545, the Mary Rose, one of the largest of Henry VIII's great ships, heeled to the starboard and sank. She was armed with the new types of heavy guns that could fire through the recently invented gun ports. This is a cooking pot made out of lead. Not good. In order to preserve the ship, the whole place is climate controlled. It's amazing how many artifacts they were able to recover, still in good shape. The hold was where the ballast was placed and much of the supplies were kept. The kitchen was located in the deepest part of the ship. The ship was constructed mostly of oak, and it was estimated that it would take 600 trees to construct this ship. The hull had 4 levels separated by 3 decks. This is one of the very few museums we visited, well worth it. Right across from the Mary Rose Museum is the Victory ship. All the masts have been removed for repairs. This ship was launched in 1765. Right next to that ship was the HMS Warrior. Our British friend managed to get a courtesy tour of the ship on the inside. The Warrior is a steam-powered 40-gun frigate. Warrior was one of the very first armor-plated wooden ships. The wrought iron was 4.5 inches thick, backed by 18 inches of teak wood. Could this be a bowling alley? The officer's dining room. The ship was equipped with a hospital and pharmacy. The hospital ward had an operating table too. State-of-the-art laundry room. This is the junior officer's dining room. Most of the crew slept on the gun deck on hammocks. Here is part of the workshop. This is my favorite part of the ship, the bakery. That afternoon, the weather improved, but it got bitterly cold. So we said goodbye to our friend and Portsmouth.